Hello, and welcome to the Unit 2.4 for the Metabolism section in our science class. We're going to go ahead and get started with this unit by starting with the warm-up. Alright, so the first thing we should do is read the instructions and understand what the warm-up is asking us to do. You'll notice it takes 10 minutes. That's because this warm-up is in two parts. So the first thing we need to do is understand that the warm-up is asking us to make these annotations. You can see that by reading the line here. Press the plus to make annotations on the image to explain to the intern what is inaccurate about the model. So the question is asking us, what is inaccurate about the model? So to do that, we simply scroll down, look at this model, and identify what's inaccurate. The first thing to do is remember that we're making annotations, so don't forget to add them by pressing this plus button. You can see that there's immediately a little target that shows up here to add your annotation. I actually have one I've already made over here, so let's go ahead and talk about that one before we continue. So the first thing I've annotated is something I've noticed that's wrong, inaccurate, or unusual about this model. In particular, I've noticed that there's a glucose molecule in the lungs. I think that's weird because glucose, as I know, comes from starch, and I know from my lessons and from the lesson notes that we take, starch comes from things like wheat, flour, corn, stuff that would not normally go in my lungs. So to make this annotation, I've used a sentence starter. This molecule would not be found in this body system because. So in this case, the molecule glucose would not be found in the body system, the respiratory system, which is my lungs where I breathe, because, and I've written it here, because food doesn't go in my lungs. That's a pretty simple one to follow because we don't breathe food, we eat food, right? Alright, so once you've made these annotations, and there should be about 6 or 7 in total if I recall correctly, you're going to turn to your partner and discuss the annotations to see if your annotations are correct, to see if you found all of them, and to see if you found the right ones. Once you've gone back and forth for about 5 minutes, you'll be ready to move on. Remember, before you move on, it's important to hand in your work by clicking this hand in button. You'll know that's done when it says update and it says your work has been handed in. Otherwise, it won't be able to grade your work. Alright, you should have enough information to get started. Go ahead and give it a try, and then when you're ready, talk with your partner about the annotations.